Hello, everybody. This is Ron calling from the Erasmus Academy recording studios. And today we're going to look at a passage on the pyramids of Egypt. And this is another segment in the daily portion of German. And this is actually this paragraph that you see outlined, the very first paragraph in this text on the screen, is what we will cover down to the point here, which I'll mark with my pen. See if you can see this. Can you see this on the screen?
Yes.
Daniela? Okay, great. And Daniela is our guest today to work through the passage. And so the idea is in these sessions is for you to participate to the extent possible. And the way we do that is I'll be reading the sentences out loud, and Daniela will repeat after me. And as she repeats the sentence, please read along with her out loud. And then I will be asking her questions about to deconstruct the sentences and look at some of the grammar issues that are there to make sure that you can understand the sentence. And so as I ask her questions, please think in your own mind what the answer would be. And then we'll, having sort of unveiled some of the grammar and the structure of the sentence, then we'll just do a translation, and hopefully you will see how it's all put together. And this is for people or students at any level of German. The idea is that each of these 7 or 10 minute sections or sessions will give you further insight on how to improve your reading comprehension of the language. Okay, so the title is Pyramiden, Grabkammern für das ewige Leben, as a question mark. And that's just pyramids, grave chambers for eternal life. And let's read some of these little subtitles right here. 2500 BCE, die Pyramiden von Giza werden gebaut. Everybody?
Die Pyramiden von Giza werden gebaut.
Yeah, so when I say everybody, then it means Danielle is going to repeat after me, and then you all should repeat or read it with her. Okay, the next one, 1350 BCE, der Pharao Tutanchamen wird im Tal der Könige westlich von Theben bestattet. Everybody?
Der Pharao Tutanchamen wird im Tal der Könige westlich von Theben bestattet.
1922, so we say here 1922, you say 1900, and then you do the 2 before the 20. 1922, everybody?
1922
Wird sein Grab entdeckt.
wird sein Grab entdeckt.
So this is just the Pharaoh Tutankhamen, and then wird bestattet, sorry, is buried. This is present tense passive voice. Is buried in the Valley of the Kings, west from Thebes. And this is the ancient name of what is currently called Karnak or Luxor in about 300 miles south of Alexandria or from Cairo. Okay, in 1922, his grave is discovered. So, okay, and now starting with this sentence, let's just read the first sentence. And again, as I say, everybody please repeat together with Daniela. Okay, so here we go. Noch heute staunen die Menschen, everybody,
Noch heute staunen die Menschen,
die vor den Pyramiden stehen,
die vor den Pyramiden stehen,
über die Größe und über die Genauigkeit, mit der sie erbaut wurden.
über die Größe und über die Genauigkeit, mit der sie erbaut wurden.
Okay, so Daniela, where's the main verb? And when I say main verb, I'm always referring to the verb in the main clause. So it's very important to distinguish the main clause from a subordinate clause. And the terms subordinate, relative, and dependent clauses are all interchangeable, the same. So where's the main verb then?
Staunen.
Staunen, yeah. So they are amazed, that you would say. And when we give the verb, then always supply a pronoun so that you know that you're looking for either a singular subject or a plural subject. So they are amazed, and then obviously this is the subject here, the people. The people are amazed. Okay, what does this D refer? This is a relative pronoun introducing a relative clause or a subordinate clause. What is its antecedent? What does it go back to, Daniela?
Dimension.
Good. back here to dimension. So I draw an arrow to show that this is the antecedent, and this has to agree in gender and number with the antecedent, and then its form, its case, depends on its role within the subordinate clause. This happens to be, it seems a little bit too detailed, but this is the way that you unpack something, and you'll see how easily the sentences sort of can be understood as you understand the details of this construction. So D as a relative pronoun is serving as the subject of this relative clause. Who are standing? So here's the verb. We always put a box around the verb. And then voor den Pyramiden happens to be a dative case in front of the pyramids, and we identify the dative with these carets like that. Okay. Hope it doesn't get too messy here. All right, and then so even today people are amazed, and then it goes about the size, and then about the size and about the accuracy, Genauigkeit, and then mit der. What does der refer back to, Daniela?
Die Genauigkeit.
Yeah, so mit der. So mit, as you remember, takes the dative, and this happens to be a feminine singular noun, die Genauigkeit. Always K-E-I-T is always a feminine ending. So this means with which they, and then they refers to what? What does Z refer to?
The pyramids.
Yeah, the pyramids. So this is the reference back here. It's a little complicated, but again, I'm just doing a very detailed analysis of this first sentence, and then we'll cruise a little bit more quickly in the rest of the sentences. With which they were built. So past tense, passive voice. Probably too many details. So with all of that, you want to translate the sentence, please?
Sure. Still today, the people who stand in front of the pyramids are amazed regarding the size and the accuracy with which they were built.
Great. So you notice that she started, even today, the people, she held off with the verb, which is right, because this modifies or describes the people what they were doing. Even today, the people who are standing in front of the pyramids are amazed, etc. Great, good job. And I do erase all these sloppy markings here so we can go on and see a clearer view of the next sentence. Okay, let's read the next sentence. And I promise you I won't analyze these sentences in such detail. So here we go. Vor einigen Jahren schrieb ein Schriftsteller, everybody?
Vor einigen Jahren schrieb ein Schriftsteller,
die Pyramiden seien von Außerirdischen gebaut worden.
Die Pyramiden seien von Außerirdischen gebaut worden.
Okay, where's the main verb?
Seien gebaut worden.
Well, this D introduces. It's okay.
Yes,
this D introduces a subordinate clause, so the main verb is
schrieb.
Schrieb, yeah. So he and this is a past tense. The infinitive is schreiben, and you should know or start learning, or if you haven't, just review the principal parts of the verb. So the three principal parts are the infinitive, the third person singular past tense, and then the past participle. So this would be schreiben, schrieb, geschrieben, and the vowel pattern was ei, ie, ie. In some textbooks or some grammars, you'll see actually just the letters themselves, which indicate the vowel pattern of how it changes from the present into the past, and then if there's a change in the past participle. Okay, so for some years an author wrote, and then what they wrote. What mood is this, Daniela? Seien gebaut worden.
Subjunctive.
Subjunctive, yeah. Now this is a case you don't have occurrences of the subjunctive so frequently in English as you do in German or French or even the Latin or Greek, but this is a sort of indirect speech because an author wrote. This is secondary source. The author who's writing this is describing what someone else wrote about something, and therefore it's not a direct speech but indirect. And therefore German requires it to go into the subjunctive. The indicative would be sind gebaut worden. This is the perfect passive. They have been built. So this is an Außerirdischen. How do you translate that, Daniela?
Alien or extraterrestrial.
Yeah, Aliens, i.e. not of the earth, but außer means beyond, and then this is the earthly. So literally it's very parallel to the English word extraterrestrial, because extra means beyond. Okay, um, I think I didn't follow what I promised to say because this is too long of an explanation. Anyway, go ahead, translate the sentence.
Some years ago, a writer wrote that the pyramids have been built by aliens.
Good. So for some years ago, an author wrote, and you correctly added that, the pyramids, which is fine. Good. Let's do the next sentence. Kein Mensch hätte vor 4500 Jahren die Kenntnisse und Fähigkeiten gehabt. Everybody?
Kein Mensch hätte vor 4500
500.
Jahren die Kenntnisse und Fähigkeiten gehabt,
Mhm. Die Pyramiden zu errichten.
die Pyramiden zu errichten.
Good. So hätte gehabt, he would have had. So in this case, you also have the subjunctive, and this is actually not a direct speech, but it's a supposition of what someone would have known or not known so many years ago. So that's another reason to put this into the subjunctive case. So sorry, subjunctive mood. So let's see, knowledge and capabilities. These are two words here. Where's the verb? Complex is obviously
Hätte gehabt.
hätte gehabt. He would have had. Hätte gehabt. And then this is knowledge, although it's singular, but idiomatically we say in English knowledge and capabilities. So you want to translate that one?
Sure. No person would have had the knowledge and capabilities to erect the pyramids 4,500 years ago.
Good. So Daniela sort of picked this up at the end, which makes sense too. So when you analyze a sentence, as we've sort of implied here, you always are looking for the verb first, and then indicate whether from the form of the verb if the subject is singular or plural, because sometimes the subject can be anywhere in the sentence in German, and then you look for the direct object in there, and then you have the core sentence upon which everything else is built. Okay, so let's read the next sentence. Es hat in der Geschichte viele Versuche gegeben. Everybody?
Es hat in der Geschichte viele Versuche gegeben,
Den Sinn der Pyramiden zu erklären.
den Sinn der Pyramiden zu erklären.
Good. So in this sense, the verb in the first part is what?
Hat gegeben.
Good. And when I say verb, always include the whole verb complex. So this is the helping verb hat, and this is the past participle. So literally this means he has given, but this also has the sense of to be or to exist. So you could say there has been in this context. there has been, and since this is plural, you would say there have been many attempts in history, etc. And then here's your complementary infinitive, zu erklären. And this means to clear, to explain, and klären, our word explain comes from this because it's actually klären means to clear something. Okay, you want to do that sentence?
Sure. There have been many attempts in history to explain the meaning of the pyramids.
Great. And the next one, im Mittelalter zum Beispiel meinten die Menschen, everybody?
Im Mittelalter zum Beispiel meinten die Menschen,
Die Pharaonen, I have a hard time with that word, hätten die Pyramiden als Kornspeicher erbauen lassen.
die Pharaonen hatten die Pyramiden als Kornspeicher erbauen lassen.
Good. You do much better with that word than I do, Danielle. And this is H with the umlaut, so it's a little bit sharper H. Hätten die. Okay. So in this case, where's the verb?
Hätten erbauen lassen.
Yeah, that's part of this the relative clause. So the main verb is actually right here, meinten. So that they thought. It's past tense. It's a weak verb. But then this next one in the relative clause, hätten erbauen lassen, with the construction with lassen, it has the sense of something that you have that you have done, or something that is done by someone else. So to translate this properly, just by itself, it would be they would have had built, i.e., by someone else. They would have had built the pyramids as storage places for corn. Okay, and then zu. What does this mean, Danielle? This pair zu?
In order to.
Good. In order to be. So in order to, and then the verb in order to be sure or safe for Hungersnoten. Noten means something that you need or emergency. So in the case of say the lack of food, or when there's no food around. Okay, so let's do you want to do the whole sentence? Starting with what are we doing? Im Mittelalter.
In the Middle Ages, for example, people thought that the pharaohs would have had the pyramids built as corn storages in order to be secured from famine.
Great. Don't you think she did a great job, everybody? Really nicely done. And I hope that as we take these take the sentences apart and explain how they are structured grammatically, that you can also get a guess or have a guess on and make a good educated guess as to how to fit the sentences together, or how to translate the sentence after that process. Let me just erase some of this. Okay. All right. Going down here, last sentence, and we're only going to this part down here during this segment. Let's read this. Andere meinten, everybody?
Andere meinten,
Lange vor den Pharaonen hätte man die Pyramiden aus Schutzbauten gegen die Sintflut errichtet. Go ahead.
lange vor den Pharaonen hatte man die Pyramiden aus Schutzbauten gegen die Sintflut errichtet.
So where's the main verb?
Meinten.
Meinten, exactly, yes. So others believed, and then what did they believe? Okay. Where's the verb in the next clause?
Hätte errichtet.
Yeah, hätte errichtet. Notice that the past participle always floats out to the end of the clause or the phrase. So they would have erected, or they would have constructed, etc. Where's the direct object?
Die Pyramiden.
Good, die Pyramiden. So to do this properly, to analyze this properly, you would actually draw an arrow from the verb here. So this is the verb complex, all the way to here where, sorry, right there to where the direct object is. This is a transitive verb transferring its action to the noun. Okay, and then this is gegen is a preposition that takes the accusative against the deluge, or against the flood. Okay, you want to do the whole thing?
Sure. Others thought that long before the pharaohs, one would have built the pyramids as sheltered buildings against the deluge.
Great, fantastic, really good job. Okay, well, thanks so much for attending, and join us again for another segment, and have a great day. Thanks, bye-bye.